Hello there, this is Virtua Fighter 10th Anniversary on PS2. It is a bonus game on the Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution disc under Options Special, the North American version of Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, that is. It's basically Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution's characters and animations combined with the style and rules of Virtua Fighter 1, the first Virtua Fighter game, that is. And it does not save any memory card data, so you have to reset your controls every time, which is what I'm doing now, clumsily. We're gonna go hard. Leave all this stuff at default. There are two routes in the game. You can sort of arcade style thing where you just play through a fixed sequence of characters. It's the same order of characters every time. You can play against a route that is just characters who appeared in the very first Virtua Fighter game. That's this VF1 route. Or you can do the evolution route, which starts with a VF1 character, then does two VF2 characters, I think it's two, then two VF3, then two VF4, then two VF4 evolution characters. So we're going to do both of them, I hope, and we'll start with the classic VF1 characters. This is recorded in only 30 frames a second because there's a really gross 60 hertz flicker on the health bars when somebody takes damage, and I don't want to inflict that on the internet, so I only record at 30 hertz or 30 frames a second so that that flicker does not show up. And I cover the top of my own screen with a t-shirt so I don't have to see it, which also means I can't actually see how much health either combatant has during a match, which makes for amusing goof-ups, I guess. And today specifically, I'm going to be playing Aoi, or Aoi, or something like that, but that's a harder pronunciation, so we'll just use the good old Aoi pronunciation. Pronunciation. College student, Ikebana, I just played her in Virtua Fighter 4, and so that data was in Virtua Fighter 4 as well. And her martial art is Aiki Jujutsu, which is a predecessor to Aikido, which is better known. You can see she has two costumes to pick from with these quote-unquote Virtua Fighter 1 models. They're basically, low polygon models done in the style of the first Virtua Fighter game. Aoi didn't show up until Virtua Fighter 3, so these are just made up artistic impressions of what she might have looked like had she actually been invented years before in Virtua Fighter 1. Now, when I played her in Virtua Fighter 4, she's got really fast punches. She's got kicks with amazing range. I mean, look how it's just, some of her kicks are just absurd how far they go, and they'll just, although it looks like they actually, so in Virtua Fighter 4, her kick would go up, it would hit going up and hit coming down, and people would try to, the CPU characters would try to edge around it, try to evade around it, but they would maybe evade around the going up part and then get hit with the coming down part. It was just ridiculous. So it looks like they really toned that down, and now it only hits once going up, I guess that was. So that is a big downgrade to her basic kick attack. Pretty fast though. It also looks like it's shorter range. She doesn't really seem to be extending her leg as much as she used to. In fact, she's got this weird hunched pose that I don't really remember. Now, I did set the difficulty on hard, but the difficulty scaling in this game is really lenient at first. So basically, the first 3 matches are just cakewalks. You can sometimes get hit a little in the 3rd match, but I mean, this is just ridiculous. What I should be using this time for is to just explore her basic moves. I'm probably going to get into trouble once I actually have to fight for realsies. I always like this stage, even though it's low detail. It's a really stylish stage. I'm not sure now that I think of it if oh, she still got the flying kick. That's forward kick, which is a move that seems to work well and cover a lot of ground.
Ready? Go!
I haven't actually played Virtua Fighter 1, so I don't know. I think I looked once and there was a stage in this style, or I saw screenshots of it, or there are videos of actual Virtua Fighter 1 on YouTube, of course, that you can look up. So I think there's a stage like this, but actually I think it didn't look quite as cool as this. But anyway. Some of the stages, in a way, look better because the background bitmap, you know, those hills in the background is higher. It's pretty high resolution in the original arcade version, actually. And then the stages we're fighting on, see this is sort of a stone texture, but that's just it, it's a texture, and the original Virtua Fighter didn't have textures except for the background image. So on the original VF1, those would have been, all the different stones would have been just polygons, you know, 3D polygons, flat shaded different colors. And that would have made for a sharper look. And it ran in a somewhat high resolution too. Probably higher than, I think, than the PS2's 480i. Yeah, I should really be... Oh, nice throw. I was just thinking I should really be trying things like throws, but he beat me to it. Yeah, it was Mount Fuji, I guess. Oh boy. So we're on stage 4, stuff actually starts to get a little real. Why is throw not working? What am I doing wrong? Let's punch. Oh, so I've noticed this for a few characters. Who's the other one? Maybe it was Vanessa. I had a terrible time with Vanessa. I thought some characters in this game did have animations for when they try to throw and missed, but Vanessa certainly didn't. She was the last character I played, and that was driving me nuts. And it looks like Aoi doesn't either, and so that just really makes me feel lost and confused when I go for a throw and nothing happens. Okay, so I landed one, but when the timing isn't quite right, it's just like I didn't hit the buttons. It's like my inputs just disappeared. I really don't like that. Anyway, Aoi she's got fast kicks. She's got, well, her fast punches rather. She's got a good kick, although it's been a little toned down, it looks like. And she's got some really good throws, not that I can particularly do them. But I didn't feel, playing her in 4, I didn't feel like I was putting that all together into something that was really working and cohesive. And I'm suspecting right now, I haven't looked this up, that I also should have looked up if she still has throws on downed characters. I think or on crouching characters, not down characters. In 4, she can throw characters who are crouching. You have to hit a different input. And it's more complicated. Now it's hitting all 3 buttons, plus down or down back. Oh, jeez. And, I forget what I was talking about before that, so this is really cohesive. Oh, yeah, so I think what I've seen when reading about Aoi before is that she has, like, reversal moves and things like that. God, this throw thing is just driving me bonkers. Now, this being Virtua Fighter 1 rules, you can't sidestep, evade, so you can kind of get pushed back, and you can't really walk away from it. What else? Oh, well, so I think her thing is, like, tricky, like, reversals or counter moves or something like that. And I have never been able to get a feeling for counter moves in any fighting game so far. I think they're just a little too complex for my silly brain to be able to do on command. I have to think about them, and if in a fighting game, if you really have to stop and think about doing a move, it's already too late. Probably. Like, I'm sort of having that problem in general against Pai-chan here right now. So, I feel like Aoi has all these good pieces, but I'm not getting the counter move glue that puts them all together, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of doing moves in isolation.
Time's up.
I hate this whiff throw not animating thing. But that's all just a litany of excuses for being bad with the character, obviously. And I haven't looked through her... I haven't gone through her command training, so I don't know what all her moves are. I just... The way I've been playing these various characters, I just get in and bang buttons and see what happens and try to get a sort of intuitive understanding of what the character does. And obviously that's not going to give me a very deep command of their actual move list. So at some point, if I want to keep improving with the characters, I'll have to go do their command training. Now, Aoi, I'm not sure I'll ever do that with, just because I don't... But I should at least try that, go that far, I suppose. Oh boy, I think it was Pai who gave me a heck of a time as Vanessa, too. It's just the speed, I think. Well, she's also pretty evasive. I'm not really paying attention, so let me try paying a little more attention maybe and talking less. As I say that, I talk and get crushed.
Fight two. Ready? Go.
Part of VF1 is having huge low-gravity chumps as well, which I don't really like a whole lot. I wouldn't have minded if they'd taken those out. Jeez. I can't... I was trying to do my forward kick move, but it's just too close or too short or too slow. Okay.
One. Ready? Go!
Oh yeah, that was punch. Oh, and then that slap move is pretty good. That's like... No, that's not it. What was this slap move? Is that it? Is that it? Yeah, back punch plus kick. And it's a weird looking move, like it doesn't look like it should be a devastating move, but the CPU seems to have trouble with it. I think it's actually pretty fast. Maybe turn around. I don't know how you're actually supposed to turn around. I'm in big... Oh, she hit me to the side. Well, that's saved my bacon. Except that I couldn't throw her again. I don't know what... I've had problems recently doing throws because I was accidentally dangling my ring finger down on... Wow! On the kick button while trying to do the throw command, which is just grab plus punch. And if you hit kick at the same time, then it negates the correct input for the throw. So let me make sure I'm not dangling my Yeah, that helped a lot. So I think I was doing that stupid accidentally hitting 3 buttons instead of 2 and trying to throw thing. Someday I'll maybe train my ring finger not to do that. But probably not. Slaps. Slaps. So, yeah, there's something about the slaps that I think the CPU doesn't believe they're devastating either. So she's just slapping me? What's that? That's not going to do anything. Now, one thing I'm totally ignoring, as usual, I was better at it when I first started this, is doing an attack on a character who's fallen down, which you can do in several ways. And every character can press up and punch, and they'll do this big jumping attack on top of the character who's lying on the ground. And then every character also has a sort of, you press the joystick in a downward direction and you hit punch or kick, and it hits the down character in a just more direct strike. It varies per character what that command is, and so I never know what it is because I don't remember specifics. It's also, you actually have to aim that one a little, whereas up plus punch sort of auto tracks. It's like a guided missile onto the, see, I tried to do it there, but I don't know how I screwed it up. Okay, somebody needs to get slapped. Not me. Well, he's not listening. Aw, nuts. I should have started with slaps. All slaps all the time? Well, okay. We can try it. Uh-oh. Oh, he figured it out. Oh. Yeah, jeez. Right back at me. Oh, I screwed it up, but it sort of worked out. I mean, that wasn't my downed attack. That was me flubbing it.
Ready? Go!
I can't even do a down attack anymore. I've gotten so rusty at it. So, I guess I'm right now asking myself, why am I playing this game? As opposed to the more quote-unquote normal Virtua Fighter games. And I would say, well, that's a good question. I first got excited about it. Neat. And it was actually the whole reason I went out and got the Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution disc was because of this game. Because I didn't like sidestepping or evades or whatever you want to call it, where a character you can hit up or down on the joystick and sort of step off to the side and dodge an attack. I didn't like that, and I read that this game didn't have evades. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they just made exactly the Virtua Fighter I wanted and didn't tell me about it. Like, I had Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution back in the day, and I must have seen this game, but I just thought it was a little joke thing, and I didn't. Sweet, a throw from the back. Well, I was so busy admiring my throw that happened. So I sort of took it for granted back in the day, but now I'm actually trying to play it. It's, the difficulty scaling kind of blows. Well, it could be worse. It could just start off super low, too easy for the first 3 fights, then maybe be okay for a fight or two, and then get way too hard and just ridiculously hard. It doesn't really do that. It sort of tops out at, sort of hard, at least on hard difficulty. So that's alright. I mean, it could be worse. It's playable. For me. I mean, if I was actually good at the game, it would be too easy, and then I'd have to play on very hard, which would probably still be a little too easy, because I have played very hard, and it's not ridiculously hard. probably pay attention here, so you didn't have to keep watching Lao beat me up. Uh-oh. Aw, nuts. Well, I actually sort of tried at the end there, and I failed.
Fight one. Ready? Go.
Okay. I'm gonna get in a down attack here, I swear. Oh. Yeah, there's one. So that's just like free damage, especially in this game. Like, in later Virtua Fighters, it's the sort of window to do them is a lot smaller. Oh, there I just started babbling and not paying attention. But in this game, it's pretty easy to get those attacks in. Relatively easy. Well, see, it's funny because you can't evade, but you can roll to the side. Now, could you do that in the first Virtua Fighter when you were on the ground? Could you push up or down on the stick and guard and roll to the side? I guess you probably could. One other thing I've read about the first Virtua Fighter game is that it actually only ran at 30 frames a second, so in a way, when I recorded it only 30 frames a second, that's more accurate. This 10th anniversary game does actually run at 60 frames, so it's actually super smooth. I mean, that's one thing I like about it, is how smooth it is. And, you know, even though it's interlaced, it's 480i like most PS2 games were, instead of progressive. The big flat areas of color, you don't notice the flickering and all the artifacting of interlaced screens that you normally would. It all looks pretty good in motion. And I should really pay attention and not just keep repeating silly things.
Ready? Go.
Oh, that move looks so nasty. Well, that was dumb. My stand-up game is, from standing up after being knocked down is really bad. And now I'm just letting the CPU kick me when they get up. Getting lazy. See, why did I go for a second? Why am I just... why am I whiffing throws? I'm getting butchered. This is getting worse and worse. I'm not even doing anything, really. Just kind of standing around, letting him hit me. Complaining.
Go.
I guess the problem is, I already feel like I've sort of run out of things to do with Owie. Which is ridiculous, because I don't turn around or anything. I don't know how to use her at all. But it's not too obvious what to do with her. Like other characters, I understand where I have room to expand and try out different moves that I'm just not using. But with Owie, I don't really understand what I'm not doing. And part of that, in my theory goes, would be because counter moves are like, it's a whole timing thing. The counter moves don't actually happen until you make a certain movement at a certain time. That's what I wanted to do earlier. As the CPU tries to attack you, like as they try to attack you, you have to do a very specific counter motion. And I'm very bad at thinking about that. Okay. I really need to shut up and actually fight him.
Ready?
Can I do that? Oh, I pantsed him almost. Stop being a jerk, Lau. Oh no, he's gonna knock me out. I wanted you to do that. I didn't want you to do that.
Ring out.
Sorry, I just spit straight into the microphone, I think, but... Wow, that's the second
Ready?
self-ring out I've seen a CPU do. The other one was... Wolf did that once, stumbled out backwards. It's kind of like I think these rings are actually different size. Some of them. So I wonder if the CPU, that's a little flaw in the CPU, like it doesn't always realize where the edge of the stage is. Oh, nuts. Oh! Well, I didn't see that one coming. I'm spitting at the microphone again. I gotta stop that. Owie! Oh. Oh boy. He's just mad about stumbling out. Now he's just making up new moves to hit me with. Oh boy. Shoot. My golden opportunity. Well, what I should really do is just beat him. I should also use down attacks. I should not do that. Oh man. Jeez. Well, like Pi, he is faster than me, and I'm not handling that very well. Like, I'm a grappler, which is weird because I don't look like a grappler, so that makes me forget I'm a grappler. I also don't actually know how to do her better throws. Oh, jeez. He's still mad about ringing himself out, I think. Now he's just gonna throw me out every round.
Ready?
Everybody saw it, Lau. It's going up on the internet. Oh, wow. It hit me when I'm crouching. I forgot about that. Oh, I was trying to think of it. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Slappy time. Back plus punch plus kick. Oh, nuts. He figured it out. Ah, I stood up just at the wrong time. Oh no! Oh shoot. I'm trying to remember a funny reference to a slapping joke. And I cannot. Because I'm old and stupid. Ow! Uh-oh. Oh no. Jeez. Oh, he's grooving now. Oh god. Well, why did he start going low? What a jerk. He hasn't been doing that. Is he doing learning? I'm whining more.
Ready?
Get good. Jump. Up. I hate this whiff throw thing. Complain. It looks like I'm just standing there doing nothing. I can't tell what my proper throw range is. I can't tell anything. Bonk. So mad. So mad about this whiff throw thing. If this happens, like, I'm sure I would have noticed it if it was with all the characters. It just makes me so mad. If this keeps happening, I'm just gonna have to stop playing this game. I can't handle no whiff throws. I'm not even blocking anymore. I'm just gritting my teeth. Alright, get over it. I usually don't do this badly. Pantsed. Jeez. What is my problem with...
Fight 2.
I guess I just don't know... I don't know how to attack with her. I don't feel like I can attack. Especially since they took away my good kicks. I had a... Man. 10th anniversary, or I guess it's in Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, really took away good attacks from the last couple characters I've tried to play. And it really just leaves me flailing. Oh, that's a good attack. I mean, you know, heaven forbid I actually learn other attack moves or something. Hey, a down attack actually did stuff. Maybe I should do more.
Fight 2. Ready? Go!
See, that would have hit him in 4, I think. Oh! Ugh. No.
Ready? Go!
That's not an attack. Oh, I can't go passive again. I went passive. Why? Because I don't know how to attack with her.
Ready? Go!
Wow. Nothing I was hitting there was beating his attack speed. Oh, that's back plus grab plus kick. Oh, it's too slow though. Oh, what just happened? Man, I don't have enough attacking ideas. He wises up to the few I try, and then I'm out of ideas. And I can't throw him reliably, he's too fast. And I keep wanting to do these slow attacks like forward kick, but he's just too fast, he'll just hit me while I'm just starting to do it like that. Well, with it. Oh, I thought I had something. Like, I thought I had enough time to just get in a regular punch on him, but...
Ready? Go!
I wonder if they made her punches a little slower in some cases in this versus 4. I'm just looking for excuses, obviously. Dang, so I hit him twice and then that's all I get out of that. That's not brilliant.
2. Ready? Go!
Man, that was a drubbing. Jeez. I'm also just getting pushed back just because I'm being so passive. Like, can't move him forward by hitting him enough. Shit. I was just waiting for him to hit me.
Ready? Go!
Too slow. Ow. No. See, I don't have follow-ups to my punches. That's actually a big problem. Like, what do I follow up punches with? I don't know. I should figure that out. That would help a lot. I'm just several steps behind Lau.
Fight two.
This is
Ready?
probably the most trouble I've had in this game.
Fight three. Ready? Go!
Shit. I don't know how close I was to dying there. Probably close. Well, that was horrible. See, and I just have a feeling that against Lau there, someone that fast, I'm supposed to be doing counter moves. Probably against Akira too. But I don't know what they are. I wouldn't be good at them anyway. This is going to be a problem. Actually, Akira hasn't really been much of a problem for me in this game, which is weird because Akira in 4 is pretty nasty. Oh. Uh-oh.
Ring out.
Yeah.
Fight three. Ready? Go!
Go.
KO.
Wow, that was horrible. Just trading weak hits for his strong
Ready?
hits. I probably have to do something there, don't I? Whoa. So that down stroke she did, I wonder if that was like a deflection or something. No, I don't think so.
Ready? Go!
Uh-oh. Can't turn around. Can't throw. Uh-oh. I still can't throw.
Time's up.
Oh, jeez.
Fight
I
three.
can't see the clock, of
Ready?
course.
Go!
I was trying to throw you, you jerk. Oh, my God. So that was actually the boss fight. It said final round or whatever in the lower right. Then you get the bonus fight against Doral. Now, I read something the other day on Wikipedia, there's a Wikipedia page just describing all the Virtua Fighter characters in all the Virtua Fighter games. And for Doral, it says that Doral's name actually is an acronym. It stands for down, up, right, A plus L. Then that spells Doral, and that was a code to access her in VF1 or something? I don't know. I mean, it must have been her first appearance, right? Which would have been Virtua Fighter 1, I think. So I don't know, but that's what Wikipedia says her name is from. Oh, nuts.
Fight 3. Ready? Go!
Oh no, it's that one. Wow. What is happening? So since it's a bonus round, you can't continue and you just go to the credits, or in this case it's a timeline of Virtua Fighter games. Which is the same thing you would get if I beat her. So that's what I tell myself, so I don't feel bad that I can't seem to beat her anymore. Well, still not finding that spark for Aoi. I was doing alright with her in 4. I was playing Kumite mode, and I was ranking up pretty regularly, and I felt like I still had room to grow just doing what I was doing. I think part of that was because her basic attacks, especially her kick, are just better in that game than they are here. Maybe they felt like they'd made her strikes too good, and people were just doing those instead of using her. Oh, these are actually replays of all the matches I won in these sort of holograms, and I think it's just the regular end credits sequence you would see in Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution if you played the arcade mode there. Anyway, I wonder if maybe they nerfed her, just her regular attacks, so that you would have to learn to play her in the way she's supposed to be special, which is maybe counter moves, I don't know. Alright, well, believe it or not, there's a whole nother thing to go through. With Vanessa, I did have less trouble on it, though, so hopefully it'll go a little faster. If you're still watching this, I can't imagine why, but this one, here will go faster. We don't have a Pai-chan or a Lao-chan to fight. And for amazing variety, we'll use her sub-costume. Not really digging that red Hakama, but, you know, no biggie.
Fight 1. Ready? Go!
So Akira is the representative for Virtua Fighter 1 and Evolution Route. So we can see the evolution of the game. Akira, you amoeba.
Fight 2. Ready?
Cro-Magnon. I need to practice my down attacks. Too slow. No, should have been too slow. Oh, so down forward punch is her just regular striking down attack. That should be something I should be able to use. I say, not convinced that I will.
Ready? Go!
Bonk. Right in the junk. I screwed it up. Whoa, that looked weird. Oh, wow. I just kicked the camera. Do get an occasional weird camera angle pan in this game. Bunch of nonsense right now. Well, it's easy when the enemy doesn't attack back.
Fight one. Ready?
I am glad, like, they kind of took probably the three characters I would want to face the least. And that's including Shun here, Shun, Lion, and Akira. And, put them in the first rounds, so where they're sort of moronic, even on hard difficulty. So whoever chose that sequence of enemies, well, I guess it's based on the Virtua Fighter games they first appeared in, so Shun first appeared in Virtua Fighter 2, same with Lion. They were the two new characters. Okay, now we have to actually start watching out. So then Aoi, of course, came along Virtua Fighter 3.
Ready?
They don't have the other new Virtua Fighter 3 character, who was Taka Arashi, the sumo wrestler. Well, now this should be educational. We can see all the moves that I don't know how to do, and I just forgot which one I was, but I have the red pants. So no Taka Arashi, so only Aoi from Virtua Fighter 3. And that was the case for all the other Virtua Fighter games after 3 up until Final Showdown. And Sega made the excuse that it was too hard to figure out how to animate his fast bulk or something, but, you know, they did it in 3, which... So, and then somehow they couldn't do it in later games? That didn't make sense. Oh, so she caught my leg, so that must be some kind of counter, right? Because that's not a throw. You can't throw a leg strike. I mean, in the standard throw button input. Was that a throw, or what was that? She jumped at me, and I think that was a throw. See, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the basic throws, just like back plus punch and grab and forward plus punch and grab, which is stupid because if you do more complicated moves like Aoi, I think when I was looking at her Virtua 4 move list anyway, she had full like 360 degree motion throws. Of course I'm trying them now and that was a throw from behind, that's why it was a different animation. It still wasn't a... I can't get it. No, that's just a regular throw. This problem with her in 4 too. I couldn't. Okay, there's one. Cool. Oh, that's an Aikido style wrist lock. What's that called? Tomonage or something? Nage means throw, but whoa! What? That didn't look quite right. It just sort of zipped into place, but that was another fancy throw that I somehow did. There are certain throw animations in certain Virtua Fighter games that are a little weird. I guess when I say that, I think mostly of Eileen's throw animations in Virtua Fighter 5. Tomonage, or whatever it is. Some kind of nage. At least in Aikido, that's what it would have been called. Oh, see, I'm trying to do 360 motions and I just end up flying through the air. Oh yeah, fancy throw. Did that do a lot of damage? I can't tell. I guess it must have. So, obviously doing those instead of normal wimpy throws would certainly help.
Go!
Oh, I hate that one. No, well, we got out of it. Jeez, what am I doing here? Yeah. I don't think that's the 360 one. That's probably just the half circle. There's that weird animation again. Holy cow. Ah. You usually... Well, I don't think you ever have enough time to do a down attack after throwing somebody. Maybe for some really exotic throw. I don't know. The theory there is that you're whipping them around with their own momentum, at least in Aikido, and then you're twisting their wrist in such a way that if they don't sort of follow it and flip over themselves, their wrist will be broken. Now, when we were practicing that type of throw in Aikido, of course, we didn't want to break each other's wrists in practice, obviously, so you sort of gently guide the person into realizing that it will be better for them. Now, is that a counter? If they just allow themselves to fall down this way. But Aiki Jiu-Jitsu seems to be a little more hard-edged than Aikido, or at least the Aikido style I learned. Jeez. Well, like I was hopefully predicting, Evolution is turning out to be the easier route again. Oh, there's no pie and no Lao, so that's good for me. Well, if I mistime every single thing against Vanessa, it's not gonna matter if she isn't Pi or Lao. Oh, there's that again. I wonder what that is. Oh no, that's not a 360 throw. That's a horrible space whiff. That's another one. Oh, wow, nice combo. Alright, I should have started trying to do fancy throws again. I should talk in my Batman voice. I'm gonna get a sore throat if I keep doing that. Then I'll think I have the coronavirus and I don't know, I'll just be in terrible shape mentally. Although actually, sore throat wasn't really one of the main symptoms of coronavirus, so I guess I'm just have to remind myself of that and I'll be alright. Fancy throw! Oh yeah! Did that even hurt her though? Oh, she was trying to pull some fancy stuff. Well, I out-fancied you, Vanessa. That was weird. So that was Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution characters, Lei Fei and Vanessa. Now we're up to... Oh, I'm sorry, that was Virtua Fighter 4 new characters. Now we're up to characters who first appeared in Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, which would be this fellow, Brad Burns, Tomonage, or whatever it was. Or wait, maybe that one was Kodakaishi. Aikido had cool sounding names for its throws. Well, dang. Such a sucker for sweeps. Jeez, how did that work? Well, I just won't block. That always works. Guys. I should really look up. No, I shouldn't. Why spoil it? Why spoil it by looking up what Aiki Jujitsu calls that? Let's call it what I want to call it. Sweet! What did I break there? His thigh?
3. Ready? Go!
Uh-oh. Okay. I'm getting a little carried away with the fancy throws. Oh. You can't juke out my slaps, Brad. Brad, well, I haven't played him in Evolution recently, have I? I haven't been playing regular Evolution, because it's got a flashing effect when players are hit. 4 has that too, but you can turn it off. In fact, it might have been off by default, I can't remember. Here's the other Evolution new character, Go Hinagami. He's a weird looking character, and for a long time I thought he wasn't very... I didn't like him, but then going back into Virtua Fighter that I'm doing now, he was one of the first ones I picked up since I never really played him much. And turns out he's pretty fun. He's a grappler, but with a really different style. I'm not really sure how I would define it exactly. Sort of a brutal style, I guess. His story is, I don't remember if he's brainwashed or anyway, he's working for this rather silly, vague, evil organization called, I think, J6, who is sort of the vague evil enemy organization in the Virtua Fighter story, or what passes for a story. Whoa. So he's an evil assassin, so he gets to use kind of evil moves, as it were. Gets to wear a hoodie. That's what all the evil guys wear, of course. Whoa. Oh, see, that's totally evil. Totally evil thing to do to somebody.
Ready? Go!
Oh, not the evil. Oh, that's my crotch. Well, I'm gonna hit you with some evil slaps. Or maybe they're chaotic good slaps. No, not the crotch. It's my only crotch. Ow. Alright, Go. I've been kidding around with you. Thought it was all in good fun. You had to go for the crotch. Now we're getting pissed. Uh-oh. Gee. Now I'm just gonna have to slap you. Slap! Oh, what is that Dave Chappelle joke? It's something, it's bugging me. It's something like, what did the 5 fingers say to the face or something? I don't know what. Slap! That is the most hilarious joke. I laughed for weeks at that one. I believe it's on YouTube. Oh, it's gotta be. Oh, not the evil. You go evil on me, I'm gonna have to sweep. Sweep up the evil. So Go is actually the boss of the evolution route. And then you have your little bonus match against down, up, right, A plus left, aka Doral. Dang it. Doral, you got drunk. Ugh. Man, when I first started playing 10th Anniversary, I don't think I was playing on probably normal difficulty for the most part rather than hard, but pretty sure I was beating her on hard. I think, for one thing, she doesn't actually defend all that well, like not as well as a boss character would. So if you're confident in attacking, you can usually, get in some hits on her that you might think wouldn't usually work on a boss character. But I am not at all confident in attacking with Aoi. Well, that took quite a long time thanks to me being completely incompetent with Aoi. But why let that stop me? Next I'll be playing her in a session of Virtua Fighter 5 quest mode. So I guess I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they'll show me some intuitive way to harness her true meaning, true purpose, true utility. Because right now I'm just obviously not hitting it at all. You're not supposed to subsist on little slaps and her nerfed kick and even her occasional cool throws. There's some other key, probably counter moves, that would make her sing, and I'm not going to be doing counter moves, so it's probably not going to work out. But we'll power through and see how far we get in quest mode. Won't that be fun? Sure it will. Owie, owie, owie. That's all I have to say about this session. So if you sat and watched all that pain, I'm sorry, but I thank you. And I will catch you later, perhaps.